Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. So I loved reading this article today about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers leads weekly player-led meetings for Steelers. DK Metcalf says, so far, Aaron Rodgers has done every single thing right on the field, off the field. His play has been sensational. His presence in the locker room has been sensational. Taking charge, making all the players accountable. All the players on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster look up to Aaron Rodgers, and it brings out the excellence in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. Aaron Rodgers has been better than advertised. Let's jump into the article. Aaron Rodgers leads weekly player led meetings for Steelers. DK Metcalf says, we have a player led meeting on Thursdays where he's the head of the meeting. He does a lot of coaching up there, what he sees that we could do better. And everybody's just listening to him and taking notes, Metcalf said of Rodgers via the Steelers website. Steelers right guard Mason McCormick yesterday talked about Rodgers picking up things at the line, even the linemen didn't see until their quarterback pointed them out. He's just absolutely amazing. You're watching a master at the quarterback position. You're watching a quarterback before your eyes who knows the entire offense. His play fakes are unbelievable. The way he's in charge of the offense. Every week, I expect to win with Aaron Rodgers. Did anybody expect to win every single game with Russell Wilson or Mason Rudolph as the quarterback? When we don't win now, I'm disappointed. You know, picture us going in, picture the Steelers playing the Green Bay Packers this week with Russell Wilson or Mason Rudolph. If we won the game, you'd kind of be surprised, like, yeah, we kind of got lucky there. You'd be surprised, you'd be shocked. Now you go into every game, you're thinking to yourself, we're going to win the game. And we should win. And when we don't win, we're pissed off. And I love that feeling. It's such a different vibe from 2024. Since the offseason, Rodgers' teammates have routinely shared stories about how he has enriched their game. It doesn't even matter what position they play because he knows their job. There isn't much he hasn't seen or done or experienced in the NFL over his decades in the league, and it has shown in all sorts of different ways. Remember when Aaron Rodgers was about to be signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers? All the Steelers insiders and fans with the Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome? Do these same people ever come out and apologize and say, I'm totally wrong? I was totally wrong about Aaron Rodgers? Very small percentage do. Does Terry Bradshaw come out and apologize to Aaron Rodgers for attacking him personally? Of course he won't. That's typical Terry Bradshaw putting his foot in his big mouth. But Terry Bradshaw has talked about how good Aaron Rodgers is. But did he ever apologize for the things that he said to him without personally knowing him? I haven't heard an apology. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. Former Steelers defensive lineman Chris Hoke saw issues with defensive lineman Keanu Benton, especially on the plays versus the Bengals. Two of those were Keanu Benton. Hoke said Thursday on the Pomp and Joe show, he's just got to be in his gap. I praised him a couple times over the last couple weeks about how he played. I think he played very, very well against the Vikings in Dublin. I think he had a sack and a half. He had a couple tackles for a loss, played extremely well in terms of technique and leverage. And then this game, whether you're trying to make a play, whatever you're trying to do, it's not consistent. In terms of technique, in terms of knowing what to do, I know he knows what to do because I've seen him do it. Hoke said it's doing it consistently, and that's what professionals do. They do it week in and week out. Basically, what Chris Hoke is telling you is Keanu Benton has the talent. He's been coached the right way. And he just shows up sometimes and does what he wants. And you can't fix that. You can't change a player's professionalism, especially after being in the league a few years like Keanu Benton. Keanu Benton knows his job is on the line. I don't think it's going to change. I think you're going to get sporadic, inconsistent play. And I think at the end of the season, it's time to get rid of Keanu Benton. If his contract's up, it's time to say goodbye. I just don't see how you can re-sign Keanu Benton. When I watch the film of him, the all 22 film, a lot of times he's not hip on hip with the offensive lineman. He gets turned sideways and the play goes right by him. I've seen that quite a number of times with Keanu Benton. Since the Steelers are wearing their 1933 throwback uniforms Sunday night versus the Green Bay Packers, the Steelers are wearing their yellow helmets, and usually the Packers have their yellow helmets also. To avoid confusion, the Packers decided to wear their all-white uniforms, white helmets, white jerseys, white pants, so there's no confusion on the field. I think it's a good idea. I really wish the Pittsburgh Steelers would unretire the Bumblebee uniforms. I absolutely love them and I miss them. So there was some data released today about the Pittsburgh Steelers. It says that the Steelers' play calling has never been greater. The offense is trending upwards. Arthur Smith was ranked fourth in the league for offensive coordinators in the NFL. And where do you think the defense is trending? Terrell Austin is 30th in the league as a defensive coordinator. And a lot of people will blame it on Terrell Austin, but we all know that Coach Tomlin has both hands on the steering wheel for the defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So this ranking is a reflection of Coach Tomlin, and I'm going to leave it at that. The stats don't lie. For the first time in a long time, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a quarterback. They have an offense that's trending in the right direction, and the defense has fallen off a cliff, and it's very, very frustrating. I don't anticipate the defense playing as bad as they did against the Bengals week in and week out, but we need to be more consistent. We all know that. And things need to change, and they need to change fast if we want to go to the Super Bowl. And I believe 1,000% that we should be in every single game that we play. We have a chance this year to go to the Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a legitimate chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it with Aaron Rodgers as their leader, as their quarterback. But this is a team game, and we need to play complementary football on offense, defense, and special teams. We can't just have an offense and a defense that's fallen off a cliff. We all know that ends badly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Merrill Hodge shreds Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I just don't get it, man. I mean, a lot of us don't get it, Merrill. I don't understand how the Pittsburgh Steelers coach Tomlin could go into the game and just think that they're going to play man coverage on Jamar Chase all night long. And when that didn't work, there wasn't one adjustment made during the course of the game. So I get it. I hear you. A lot of us don't get it. And I don't think we ever will. Terrell Austin explains why Steelers aren't using dime defenses anymore. And he says it's because of Peyton Wilson, has his athleticism, how fast he is, his ability to cover. Some people think it's a bad thing. Some people think it's a good thing. But I like it because it mixes up the defense. You could still blitz him. He has the size to blitz. Peyton Wilson can bring a lot of things to the table. Obviously, we all know he has to play the run a lot better than he's played it in week 1 and week 2. But I think Peyton Wilson is a player that is going to eventually put it all together and be a great player for the black and gold. Zach Frazier planning to play Sunday despite calf injury. Zach's a tough guy. He'll be in the game. He's just a little banged up. I mean, it's football. Everybody's banged up around this time of the year. I have a good feeling about this Sunday night versus the Green Bay Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play absolutely phenomenal. I think he's downplaying it a little bit, saying it's just another game. But I don't believe that for a second. And I anticipate the Pittsburgh Steelers, the entire team rallying around Aaron Rodgers and playing their hardest and playing disciplined, hard-nosed Pittsburgh Steeler football to give Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers the victory. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.